Alliance-13 for the Object 279E. We have a tricky one here because we have to be top 3 XP in a match 3 battles in a row, which means that you have to win 3 battles in a row. Okay, if your team loses, there's no way you're going to be in the top 3 XP. I had a match where I did 5,500 damage, 4 kills, and I was like 12th in the match in XP because that's just the benefit of being on the winning team. Now, if you want to uplift this to complete it with honors, you need to get top XP in the match 3 battles in a row, which I didn't do here, and you'll see why in just a couple minutes. But the tank I chose to do this in was the Chimera, the previous reward tank in the campaign. Because it has really good alpha, you're going to be hitting people for 450 higher if you're lucky. It's got a great turret. It's pretty reliable. It's not going to take tier 10 shots, but it'll do the job. And it's got good gun depression. The two things that I really don't like about this is that the gun is unpredictable. I think they buffed it, but it's still, sometimes shots get away. And it doesn't have the greatest mobility for a medium. It's probably not going to be a huge impact because we're going to be pretty aggressive to get this done, but it just know it's lacking in mobility. Now, in terms of equipment, pretty standard stuff here. Vents, definitely put the rammer on the Chimera because it has a long reload time to compensate for that large alpha in the gun, and vertical stabilizers. And I run 2 repair kits on most of my tanks with a med kit, but I don't think the equipment is really going to make a huge difference in whether or not you get this done. It'll be mostly about your gameplay and, of course, whether or not you and your team can win. Now, there are good alternatives. I think the Pershing is a good alternative for this. It's got a great gun. The turret is pretty awesome on the Pershing. It's got good gun depression. You can get up there on the front lines like the Chimera. It just doesn't have the alpha that the Chimera does, which is why I chose the Chimera. And I think there's another play style you can have here where you give up a little mobility, but really what you're doing is you're just, brute forcing into the enemy lines with a Tortoise, doing a lot of tracking, doing a lot of damage yourself. And I think I can get it done. Now, it took me 3 attempts because, again, you have to win 3 battles in a row, which is probably the most difficult thing of this. First battle, I ran up to the hill on Himmelsdorf here, and I just tried to play aggressive, and it actually worked out that the enemy team did not play aggressive at all, so it really just enabled us to sweep this hill pretty quick. Which is not normally the case. Like, normally you get bogged down right here. There's lots of brawling going on, but they didn't really push up on the hill, which enabled us to do this. Now, I wish I snuck this kill in here, but again, with the gun, the way it behaves, that was a very low probability shot. And it kind of screwed up, I think, my effort here. I shouldn't have shot the T-29 there. I should have tracked one of the other tanks earlier with the previous shot, because I'm kind of protecting the T-29 from taking damage right here, because I want that damage myself. I got stuck on the wall for a second and opened him up, but I didn't do a good job in taking advantage of the other tanks and tracking them and collecting that XP from my team doing damage. Because I got stuck on those 2 tanks there, I did nothing to the Emil. So that wasn't well played on my part, but it didn't really hinder the match. I still ended up top XP on my team in this match because I was able to get damage from this this WZ here, and I was able to get the kill on the WZ as well. So this worked out pretty effectively. And that was the only match, by the way, that I came in top XP on my team. Now, the second match, we have Mountain Pass. I push down to the south, and I was actually able to farm a lot of damage here as I was just working these tanks in the south of the map, right? This is one of my favorite areas in the game to brawl, because I think there's a lot of options that you can do here. And because this tank right in front of me was so aggressive, he's really stuck in that position. There's really nothing he can do to get out of that position at this point without dying, and I'm just able to take advantage of that. I think I misplayed it just a little bit. I should have been a more aggressive right there because the tanks are just disappearing, right? And now I'm rushing. I have that lack of mobility. Luckily, this tank was exposed and I was able to get the shot in. And then there's another heavy tank on my right here that I want to take advantage of, and I pop up in a slightly awkward place. I should have popped up a little closer behind that rock, and I took a hit. So I made the decision that I didn't want to hang around there and wait for my reload because I didn't think I would get the kill anyways. So I pushed up towards this heavy line. And the T95 threw a little bit of wrench in the works because I was hoping to just run up behind that heavy and do some damage. But now I have to figure out how to get by this T95 without taking a massive shot. And these are the kind of situations where you get lit on fire and your game just ends if you take that hit from the T95. So I decided to just let my team push up. You can see he tracked me, and as soon as he fired, I ran behind him, but I don't hit the T95. I go for the heavy that's up there because I don't want him shooting me. But unfortunately, my team killed the T95 pretty quick, so I wasn't able to reload. Now, in the third match, I did something stupid. I came into this spot on Berlin. I've never used this location before, and I did nothing. I did one shot of damage to someone on the cap, which is great because it resets cap points. But that was really it. And so I came back to the heavy line here to brawl a little bit. Got this one kill in, and that was really all I did. I just kind of hung out here for a couple minutes. Almost gave away the match, quite honestly, because you can see here, there's only 7 minutes left in the match, and I just don't have a lot of damage. There's not a lot of tanks left. So I sneak around the backside to kill this heavy, and immediately this TD is spotted, and I get a crit no damage off of him. But this is probably the crucial shot right here. I decide that he's probably still there, so I just blind fire into that bush, and I did get damage off of him there. So that, I think, saved me from losing this. I was able to sneak that kill in there, and this is where the mobility of this tank, or lack thereof, should have killed me. You can see where that Pantera is. Like, he should be rushing that ISU right now, and I don't know what took him so long to kind of went around the long way there. He should have gotten this kill, and if he did, there's a good chance that I would have came in 4th place in XP. But I was able to sneak around and get there before him and get this kill, and that really enabled me to do it. So not a great display of play in that match, but it was enough to get top 3 and complete Alliance-13. So what do we need to do here? You have to be part of the front line. You don't want to be hanging in the back and letting other people spot for you, because you're splitting XP with them when you do that. Okay, so you probably don't want to do this in a TD unless it's a frontline TD like the Tortoise, where you have armor and you can take shots. You want to track enemies where possible. If an enemy has a lot of HP, track them instead of doing damage to them. And if you could do damage with the tracking shot at the same time, great. But track them, because your teammates are just going to unload on them, and you're going to collect XP from all the damage that they're doing, particularly in a gun like the Chimera, where it has a long reload time. You may actually get more XP from tracking and your team doing damage than you will from the damage that you'll do yourself. But if you can track and damage at the same time, even better. React quickly to the mini-map, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're without shots. That really is probably the worst situation to be in this particular mission. And then time your shots for kills. Kills are huge when it comes to XP, so take advantage of them where you can. So I hope that helps, guys. That's Alliance 13, and I will see you on the next one.